Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, the Sunshine Witch Tarot. Now I'm going to have a reading for Gemini 2020 for February. And since I'm a little late, I will also read maybe some beginning of February as early past, but the cards will speak for themselves. Let's see. Gemini. February 2020. I have Sage my cards, as I always does before a reading. I've done my prayers. Gemini. February 2020. And I will try to make it a little bit quicker than I did SAG, because usually I record myself one time if like I did in the last video. My English was terrible because it was so damn heavy. That was a tough reading and a heavy reading. Most that I had in a long time. So let's hope Gemini is a little bit easier or lighter, but I don't decide that. That's the spirits and the cards talking. So we will take it, whatever it has in store for you, Gemini, for February. Gemini for February 2020. Oh. Okay. So let's see what the cards has in store for you, Gemini. First of all, in the nearly past, you have been feeling that, let's say, that you have had a revolt against established systems, like the Anarchy spirit is alive and it's well, and it has been coming into your life and your thoughts. And as I said, revolt against established systems has and some break in the rules and eccentric behavior. Everything like that is what's been mentioned here in the early past, even until today. So it seems like you have been, maybe you even have turned your back to your parents' values or your background, and that you have declined your parents' values. So maybe you have been raised in a conventional and religious atmosphere, and you have been turning against it, turned your back against it, and try to seek your own truths. Because the card is telling me that you have had almost a claustrophobic attitude against rules and decrees or things that is established. You have wanting to turn things on their head and break every rule in the book almost. So, and when I look at the card, I feel like if you have been throwing yourself with the head first in new deals or new happenings, you have maybe been gotten very disappointed, because and if you have bought yourself something expensive to your home, it has been a disappointment. And everything that you have done for a reason, of course, but it has been falling back on you. It was not maybe the right thing to do, but you just wanted to break all the rules because you hate rules. If somebody said don't do that, you want to do exactly that thing, and that behavior has cost you something, because when it comes like this and in this lay with the next card right next to it, it hasn't been because sometimes it's very good to think outside the box and break the rules, because it's not all rules that are good, but some rules are written because it's necessary, and when you break them, the necessary rules, of course it's going to bring you bad luck and turn against you. And behind this is in the early past, as I said, I haven't been laying cards in some months, so it could be even weeks and months ago. you have been having your heart broken because of somebody, or you have caused with this eccentric behavior caused others to have heartache. And when I look at you and your this is you have been having a very difficult time, and you have been thinking through things until now, until February. You have learned something that you didn't know before. And as I said, you have been having difficulties because of this eccentric behavior and the breaking of the rules. So when I look at your next card that is beside that card, it says that yeah, when it comes to now and what this may had caused you until now, because it seems like a restrictive situation has or a way of thinking is on the way out of your life, because it's now in the present it seems like you, Gemini, has renewed trust or some relaxed feeling that make you capable to solve problems and continue forward again from this lesson that you had to go through, that you have let yourself let the feelings and this eccentric behavior run off with you, and this has caused you heartbreak. Very, that that is no question about that, but it seems like it is on the way out now, because now it seems like this, at this presence, it seems like there is a relief. And as I said, a restrictive situation or a way of thinking is on the way out of your life. And as I said, you have renewed trust and a relaxed feeling that make you capable to solve problems and continue forward again. And before this relief, there has been a great amount of intense thinking, and the solutions that you have come to doesn't come from luck or what is that in English? Let me see. Coincidence, of course. Oh, sorry. It seems like this solution doesn't come from luck or coincidences. And when this card comes upside down, it all, and as a result card about a personal relationship, the card often means some difficult period and some selfish behavior. Maybe one of the partners, one of you have tried to dominate the other, or overall in this you have been trying to make yourself very important, and have you have been having a selfish behavior and tried to make yourself important, more important than some others. And sometimes this behavior may not be conscious, but it shows an all over thought mindlessness or thoughtlessness, and a lack of considering over other people and their feelings then. And since that card comes right after what I just read before and started the reading with, so it seems like you have had a smack on your hand for what you have done, and it seems like this has made you think really hard and search for answers, and this relief that you feel now has come from very much thinking and considering your mistakes, and that you have been selfish, you know. When it comes to some hidden agenda, something you just know and you need to know, and in that advice I will say that it seems like all this trouble has come from a place that you're scared to be alone. Yeah, it seems like you have had an incredible fear of being alone, and that has driven you to do very much selfish and thoughtless and mindless things to others, and been breaking some rules that hasn't led you to some good place, or as I said, now you feel a little relief after a long period of thinking and considering things, and seeing that you have been having a been acting selfish. So, and it seems like the problem and the root of the problem might be the fear of being alone, because it seems like a pervasive fear of being alone gives you a frantic hunt in social life, or even for some of you, even some unsuitable lovers, that some of you have been a little easy, but this is just because you fear of being alone, so you think that you have been sleeping with unsuitable people, that it's not right for you because of this fear of being alone, you know. And because it's a very little happiness and joy to pick up from this frenetic hunt, because at last it's very unsatisfying. And when it comes to career, it might, if that is what's on the plate, it seems like today's project, or even your work that you haven't meant a lot to you. Maybe you liked it before and now you have grown out of it and looking for some challenges and something new. Maybe you have used this safetyness and this sense of continuity, this sense of because this, you have used this, the safe feeling it got you, and the sense of continuity. And that you have had been needing to have that safe feeling and continuity. And at some time in your life you needed that, but now it's time to look for new possibilities, or to consider even going to learn something new. Maybe even go some courses or something to take to have a new career, because it seems like there has been a turn in your life, a very important turn in your life. Maybe you have needed something so simple as a new hobby. If it's not a new job, maybe you just have been needing something new. Maybe, as I said, a new hobby or interest, especially if your creative gifts has been underemployed at work, and you couldn't be using your creativity in your job. And it seems like this is something that you have been needing at this time. And that is what's maybe you, because the placement comes from what's hidden for you, and things that you may not know. So what I just said, all this may come as a surprise to you. But for some of you, you may know it, but the placement is to give you some advice, to make your reading more complete, and give you a hint that can help you to get on the right track. So when it comes to the next card, as a where you have your difficulties and where the problem is, and the card that is there is very, what should I say, it's suitable for fights and negativity, because it's Wheel of Fortune upside down. And in this time and up to now, and in February, you may feel that you're on luck, that accidents continue to follow you on your way of living in your life, that the unluck is constantly following you, and that the goddess of faith has the dark and destructive face on, because it seems like a heavenly saboteur is at work right now. But the card tells you to have courage, to take courage, because when the Wheel of Fortune comes upside down, you must remember that the Wheel of Fortune is always in motion. You know, it's a wheel. No matter if it's upside down or the right way, it's a wheel. And remember to have your courage, take courage, because, as I said, the Wheel of Fortune is always in movement. And if you just could be patience, the luck will smile at you again. But as you can think of yourself, this is not the right time to start new projects or to count on the things to sort out to your advance, because it's warning you that this now, and this is a lay for February, so you should be careful and start slowly and not just jump into something new and start for full all over, because that could you can end up sitting there saying that because this is when the wheel of fortune comes upside down, as I said, you know that this is not the right time to start new projects or to consider the things to happen to your advance, and unexpected delays may show up from nowhere. And it can happen that you are saying that you wouldn't believe this, but this time, if it is the right way, you will go around saying, oh, you wouldn't believe what good happened to me. But when the wheel of fortune comes upside down, you will say the opposite. You will still say, it may happen that you are still saying that you wouldn't believe it, but this time the rest of the sentence is about bad news. Comfort yourself with that this usually ends every changes with something, that every changes ends with something positive, and expect the unexpected, you know. And when it comes to how others have been doing to you and is acting or involving or playing a part in all of this, it seems like that you have been it seems like other people will help you, but you have to work hard, and maybe your financial situation will get better, but you will have to work very hard for it. And the situation overall, that it will get better, but you have to work hard for it, to turn things around from all of this bad luck and mindlessness, thoughtlessness that you have been living your life in anarchy and breaking rules and stepping on people's toes, and overall have been having a very selfish behavior. But the cards is telling me that when it comes that somebody else may be able to help you on the right track, both financial, if you have been having trouble with your economy, that it can also, you need help from others, and that is what others will do, but you have to count on them and reach out and receive what they have to help you with it. And when it comes to the situation that will get better, but you have to work hard for it yourself too. And there will be, what is that in English? It will be prepared or repaired for earlier loss that you may have, or maybe whatever you feel like this has done to you in a negative way. If you just work hard and turn to others, because the cards tell me that somebody else will come and help you. And the cards that shows up there, it might be a earth sign, a Virgo, Capricorn or Taurus, that may help you to get back on track in a way, if you know what I mean. But you have to work hard for it, because all of this destruction that you have been doing until this moment, and this selfish behavior that you have, and this thoughtlessness, to make, you have been thinking a lot, so you are ready for this, because if not, the card wouldn't come out this way, you know. So when it comes to there will come a person that will help you get back on track, and you should work hard. And you must, if you really want this to get better, you have to work very hard to make things happen, you know, because there's a lot of things that you have to make right again. And when it comes to the next card, that is, what was that? It was, yeah. When I look at that card, and the card comes in a placement that is, this is a little advice in a way. So it seems like there has been a period with the emotionally confusion, that you may have preferred fantasies instead of reality, and that the depression has been right under the surface, and that you may have had lack of interest in life, in life overall, because you have been feeling what is that in English? You have been feeling a quietly despair, you have been feeling a silent despair of and you have been feeling like it's very hard to see any way further into the future and see the way ahead of you. That has been difficult for you, and you have been feeling a silent despair about this, because and when it comes to it physically, this card that is there in this position stands for exhaustion, that you have been having that you have been feeling exhaustion, that you have been feeling that there has been too much problems and not enough energy to solve them. And behind all of this, it might have been a broken relationship behind this crisis, because, or you have been having an endless hunt after, chase after perfection, even in work or in love life. And as we all know, the perfect is unachievable. This chase and this hunt will end with disappointment. You have to have help from outside to stop this destructive phase, you know, because in this time of February, you are not capable to see the forest for just trees. I think it is that in English too, you know. You just can't watch and see any solution to the problem. And as I said, you feel like there's too much emotion that you just want to leave it all behind. That you have been feeling it necessary to pull yourself a little bit back. And this is not just because you wanted to pull back. This is also because you have been feeling a lack of energy to solve all these problems. And that's why you need help from others to solve this and to get on the right track. As I said earlier, there are somebody here that will help you, but you have to reach out to them, because you have to work very hard also to prove that you... And when it comes to my extra cards that I always lay, as I said in the earlier reading, for SAG, I always lay some extra cards to be more clear in my reading. And the reading is telling me that right now you feel like you have been working very hard already, and that you now is watching yourself, because the card is saying that you, in this time, you have been far away. And this card tells me that it predicts healing after sickness, or this card also means success and in work also. And you have been working you have been doing a lot of effort to make things right. And as I said, it's been a lot of thinking through all of this shit that has happened to you. That is might be cost of yourself, but the card is telling me that you have a fear of being alone, and that your family might have been, as I said, the depression has been right under the surface, and it seems like there has been a little breakdown in some way. That there has been. I will look that up in English. Yeah, there has been a lot of emotional setbacks. And the risk has been about people or places that is close to your heart. Because this card that is my extra card that is telling me this about this presence, that there has been fights and losses on the emotional level. For some of you, might even have had to move from a house or a city or a place or a land even that you love very much, and that a move like that is not just a breakup, but it means that you loses contact with all friends or neighbors and so on, you know. And this card means that maybe you even feel this lost because somebody else is moving away from you. And it seems like there has been people that has been disappointing you very much and been letting you down. And it seems like the trouble is that somebody else has been turning their back on you, you know? That they have there has been fights and enemies and changes overall. And because this card, this extra card as next to this, is a very compact card, because it means, and it must be considered with all of the rest of the lay, because this card shows and can show losses that you have been having on the emotional level. And there is nothing else. This card is showing me that there has been defeat and some form, as I said earlier, some form of loss in this card too. So and in this relationship or these circumstances, you might feel like it's a loss, or you have been the reason for a loss, or a defeat. You might be the reason too. But it shows that there has been a lot of betrayal. Yeah. And as I said, it might be you that have been feeling this loss, or been the reason for this loss or betrayal or defeat. And when it comes to that has been the problem, and it comes in a placement where under the other cards that is the prime lay, but it shows that other people have been turning their back on you and left you to pick up the pieces yourself, you know. And how I know that is because the two cards that shows the most betrayal in the whole arcana is often 5 of Swords and 7 of Swords, and they come right next to each other in my extra cards. So with this card also often comes with a feeling of being being restricted in the card often comes with a feeling of being restricted in some way, and from these restrictments and this it looks like this injustice in this restriction and in this injustice to you. There has come new ways or it will come new, it comes new counsel on how to move forward because of this restriction or betrayal or defeat. The cards also shows often that you will be able to pick up all the pieces and create something new that is more. The word that comes to me very clearly is realistic. All this betrayal and injustice and all this, no matter, even if it's both sides that has been doing this, it comes with new counsel, and with this new ways of thinking and ideas, you will be able to create something more realistic. And you know what I mean, even if this is a general reading for all Gemini and for all those sun, moon and rising. So for those of you that need to hear this, you know what this betrayal and this defeat and all this restriction, and you know where all these emotional setbacks, and you know where it comes from and who's responsible for it. But as I said, even though it's very dark, there will come new counsel out of it. You will get new ways that will show itself for you. Because the cards, I can say it straight out, the cards, this card, especially this card I'm talking about now, Five of Swords, often shows to bad behavior, betrayal, bad, what is that in English? Sneaky behavior, you know, because it shows about this sneaky behavior, and the card is always showing and talking about gossip and lies and vicious behavior. So and this, all those tactics have been used or are reasons behind this, the reason behind this loss and emotional setback and betrayal. The reason of all of this is lies and sneaky behavior and tactics, sneaky tactics, and as I said, vicious behavior, viciousness. And this, all of those things can be the reason of this betrayal or this loss. Because this loss or this feeling of defeat comes from lies and sneaky behavior and vicious tactics and viciousness. I think it's that in English. So, because if it's not used against you, it shows that you have been using this to win some, or to yeah, to have some empty victory, because that's all this is. Because you are sitting back now and feeling lost, and you might even be the one that has used lies and sneaky behavior and gossip and viciousness to win some empty victory. May I say it that way? But this loss or this disappointment shows that the road that you have been upon was not really your way to go. So the only thing hurt might be your pride, you know? Because when lies and this behavior is used, even though it might hurt right there and then, most of the time, the loss and the feeling that of disappointment that you're sitting back with is mostly only hurt. The most of the things that is only hurt is your pride. So, and when it comes to the card that is next to that card, it's so rare that those two cards come out right beside each other. So that's why I know this is no doubt about this has been sneaky behavior, lies, betrayal, defeat has been the tactics to win this has been lies and yeah. So it's no doubt. And the last card in my extra cards is showing that the main message that you might have as a result if you because when this card comes upside down, it shows often superficially sorry, behavior, and that is the main message that card often has upside down, and it talks especially about the spoken or the written word and about the thought processes overall. There's something fake and unreal with these conversations and these promises or compliments that these cards represent. And this card points at a big-mouthed person. I think it is that in English. Full-mouthed person is Google calling it. Yeah, it shows a person that is a big-mouthed person that enjoys the power of words without thinking what they really mean, you know? There's something slick and fake and unreal about these promises, these conversations and these compliments that this card shows to. And this big-mouthed person that enjoys the power of words without thinking what they really means. The card tells you that you are in danger of being manipulated and being getting be getting fake advice and yeah, because the card tells us about danger in being letting down by advices and tells you to be careful to go along with a plan that you later will regret. And I think that is already happened, you know. And if it's about to happen again or about to happen now in February, this is a warning, Gemini, to using tactics and words without thinking over what you really are saying and doing to people. You will be let down and you will sitting there and be betrayed and defeated, and you will be the loser in this game. Nobody wins with tactics of lies and bad behavior and betrayal, you know. That is evilness, and we all know about karma. And Gemini, I know a lot of Geminis, and I have moon in Gemini, so I know many Geminis can talk a lot, especially the sun Geminis can talk a lot without really thinking about what they really are saying, because the mouth and oops, there I did it again. And you all must have experienced, if you are over 30 at least, 20, I believe you have experienced that lies and deception and betrayal and using all those tactics never gotten you far. You may win a little yeah, I would call it empty victory, because the victory you win with the using words and lies is not not good, you know, and it never turns out good. It's not it's always the fight you win, or if you are in a battle with somebody, if you win the right way, that is a much tastier and happier victory, and than been using tactics you know that you didn't really deserve to win. And as I said, this is a warning about using, or that if you, it's not about you, it's a danger that you are in danger of being manipulated and been getting failing advice and being oh, what is that in English? Been people is trying to get you to do something and overtalk you to do something that you will regret. Don't believe everything you read or hear when this card shows up, because it's full of tricks and traps for all those people that is unconsidering. So it's a total advice to, when you are inattentive, when you are not awake, you can be, there's a danger that, because this card is full of tricks and traps, so a little easier, this card can also point at a character, that your character or some sides of your character points at on determination. That you are not determined enough, you know. Maybe you think that it's hard to handle or to do something, and that you are that you are bothered by a restless mind that is full of negative thoughts, and that you overall is not, that your mind is overactive, and that you're full of negative thoughts, and that one or another project demands your attention, but you can't seems to make up your mind to what to do right now, you know. And you have been getting, when it comes to hidden agendas and what's problem, you have been feeling uncreative, and you need a hobby or a new way, and you have been looking for it maybe also, and you need it. You need a new way of thinking, a new way of moving forward, and stop being so mindless. And if it's you, stop lying and using tactics to win your case, because all you is sitting left with are no friends, or people won't be around a person like that uses those tactics. And this cards doesn't even mean that it has to be you, Gemini. I'm not saying it's just you, because the Seven of Swords upside down comes in a placement of advice, and the Five of Swords comes in a placement of how others is involved in this lay. So it's no doubt that it's you that also have been lied to, because I feel strongly here that this has been both ways, you know. But it seems like they might be putting all the blame on you. Yeah, you might not have done everything right, and you might have lied and done things, but it seems like it's not just you. They have been manipulating and being also in this, and maybe pointing their fingers at you for all the blame. And this has hurt you a lot. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. And all this has made you feeling very much bad luck. As I said, the Wheel of Fortune in the main lay is showing in a placement of difficulties that you are not lucky at this moment, and everything you must achieve that is good for you, you have to work very hard for it. Because people are talking behind your back, and I will be laying 2 cards. Or should I just do 1 extra card for Gemini? I think so. Because even though you have been hurt, and you have also hurt others, you know. And especially in the past, maybe not right now in February, but maybe in January, December, November, because the heartache, the biggest heartache you had was, it's not now. Even though you feel disappointed now and let down, it's not, you are not in your heartache now. You have been thinking a lot, and you have, the reason that you may not have might not be right where you want to be is because you feel exhausted, and this exhaustion might be because an unhappy relationship, or unhappy family life overall. And it seems like you have been let down by love also, not just friends and people around you, but yeah, you have been feel left out in the cold. But as I said, you deserve some of it. But the people that is talking behind your back and pointing fingers at you for your bad behavior has also been involved in all of this. But they are putting 100% blame on you, like they are innocent in every way of the meaning of the word, but they are not. The card is saying clearly that it's not just you, it's both sides. And as I said, I can't say it enough. Lies, deception, betrayal, sneaky behavior, vicious behavior, being big-mouthed, that has never let anybody win and gain great projects or stuff, you know? When you have worked hard for something and done it the right way, that victory is, you can't compare those two wins. If you win because you lie and betray, that prize is not so good and doesn't taste as good as when you have worked hard for it and you've done the right thing and you win. But it seems like much of the reason of all of this is that people, you and others, have been using words without really thinking about what they mean, you know? Oh my god, I'm still making an hour lay again. There was much here too. But I promise that I will lay another card, so I'll use my angel tarot deck. So I just love this deck too. Now we read from it, and let's see. Last advice for Gemini for February. Even though I already think that I've been giving you good advice. And as I said, all these lies must stop. And you must be careful who you trust also. It's not just you doing those things. People are doing it to you too. So, but in the end, it shows that you have to choose between two ways, you know. You can go this way and that will happen, and you can go this way and this will happen. And you have to lay on your oh, it's so difficult in English. I'm getting angry at myself sometimes because I want to say it in Norwegian, but it's easier. But as I said, in the end, this card is pointing at a relationship that is meant to be. Maybe a love relationship also. And because every relationship that comes under this card is a strong and meaningful relationship. And it might be the old thought of your heart right one, you know. And you might feel like this person that will may help you, or at least it's somebody that you may feel like you have always known each other, and that you almost is capable to read the other person's thoughts, and you are completely intact in every level. Many occultists will say that you have been together before, that you have loved each other through many different lives and cultures, and that you're just meant for each other. But this card sometimes shows also about the inner marriage, because in that case you have been solving a lot of conflicts in yourself, and you are satisfied with your body, and your manly and womanly characteristica is now in good balance, and then the energy comes out positive. So sexually you might be just as satisfied as taking the initiative or to receive it. You might be full of affectionate or devotion. You're full of devotion, but this card also has a double meaning, and that is the choice. As I said, you can choose either one way or the other way. When this card shows up, you might be trying to decide for something, decide something. And this card gives you the message that you have to think about it really carefully, because these choices is not in black and white, and they are not easy to solve logically. So, and sometimes they come forward as two roads, you know, two ways. You can either continue with what you're doing, or you can take a chance and do something new. You must use your intuition and ask yourself certain questions, because it reflects, do you reflect yourself in your home, in your work, or in your personal relationship? Or does it happen that you wonder that what you're doing in some of these areas in your life? Have you given up on your idea? What is that in English? Ideals? Have you been giving up on your ideals completely, you know? Look carefully at your life and think about that question. Calmly think about that question, because if you feel like you have been I will look that up. If you've gone on a chord, if you have been trying to balance things to achieve stability and safeness and happiness, to just to please somebody else, or because you are lazy, the Lovers is giving you a chance to come back up on the right track again, and that is a very positive card to end the extra lay on. Also, you are now in February given a chance to do things right, but it will demand a lot of work, and you have to do it the right way this time to achieve to have a positive outcome, because You saw, Gemini, where it took you when you did it, the way you did it. So, the last card for Gemini, advice for February. Let's see what the angels has to tell you. Oh, 10 of air. The end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. Recovering from an addiction also. And I'll read in the book and it comes right up on 10 of air. Thank you. Let's see what stands here. Oh, it's so dark. The situation has ended. Fortunately, endings are always followed by a new beginnings. You may feel sadness over what has transpired, mixed with welcome relief. It's time to walk away and embrace the dawning of the new day. Expect your circumstances to improve. It may be time to change your career. I mentioned that earlier, didn't I? It might be time to change your career. Perhaps you completed a long-term project or have decided to pursue other employment. Don't put limits on what wonderful things that the universe can bestow. Cast your net wide and see what fantastic opportunities you may catch. Well, that was wonderful, Gemini. Additional meaning of this card. Nowhere to go but up. Recovery from an addiction. A melodramatic reaction. So, and as I said, the end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. And for all of you that is recovering from an addiction, good luck on that, because that is not an easy job. That is quite an achievement, you know. So clap yourself on your shoulder if you've done that or doing that. And that, as I said earlier, if that is something about this you have to work hard for, so it's not an easy thing to do. So I will end the reading with that card, my friend. And I wish you very much luck, Gemini. Follow my advice and what the cards and the spirits are telling you. And I feel like this is very meaningful. Not, even though it's very much negativity in it, I don't feel it was as heavy as Sagittarius reading was. So, but also the Sags said that it's now it's so low that it can only go one way, and that is up. So I feel like if you follow these advices that I'll be giving you in this reading, things will turn out well for you, because now it's time to embrace the change and expect things to get better. Blessed be, Gemini, and good luck. Bye.